Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James and also the Brink, and with me today is all of you guys, because this is the Let's Chat stream / podcast. I mean, it's set as a podcast, technically, so I need to get one more thing ready, and we're going to get people moseying on in. So we will say hello to people. Let's see here. Okay. Make sure I can see all live chat. Welcome. Gondorian Slayer, Cascoder, welcome. We'll see. This is a little early, so we're going to give a little bit more time for people to, like I said, mosey on in. Raichi, welcome. I have my pumpkin candle. I probably shouldn't. I mean, I enjoy the smell. I shouldn't burn it. I got my liquid death. Been trying to drink a little less sugary stuff. Chad. Yeah, I'm a couple minutes early. Sometimes I'll start at about 5-10 minutes early sometimes, and I usually have like a screen for that, but my screen, when I would have started, it would have counted down not properly, and so I didn't want to do that today. Gondorian Slayer, yes, Intel is finally joining the fray. We'll see how well they do. But yeah, once it hits about 8 o'clock, I will give you what's on the agenda today. And so if you guys have anything you want me to add to the agenda, let me know. And I will add it now or forever hold your peace. Gondorian Slayer, there's been multiple handhelds. They're just not. They're decent enough for emulation, but not much else. And I will even say I'm a little skeptical of the first gen of these gaming handhelds. But we'll see. I think AMD's just been eating the market with so many devices, and so just APUs, deals, and everything. I have a feeling they're probably low money deals, meaning they don't make a whole lot of money off of one thing, but because bulk and compounding and everyone wanting things, they probably make more and more. Chad, so today was eventful for us. Oh, what happened, Chad? Raichi, yeah, they can't make great low-profile GPU. Yeah, they've had, from my understanding, they're not like the ARC GPUs are okay for what they are. There's a lot of good to them, but no one recommends them. I mean, what they need to do is continue doing it and adhere to doing it. Promise to commit to it. Don't pull a Google like, well, we've tried this for 2 years. It's not working, so we're going to just count this as a failure instead of like committing. Gondorian Slayer, I agree, and it has its down so far. Intel needs to find a solution. AMD can't make great low-profile GPUs. AMD needs to AMD and NVIDIA need to really redo the way they handle their naming conventions. I really hate them. Especially AMD's naming convention just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I have a hard time sometimes. Chad, new washer came in. Our car's front end got replaced. My rings came in early and are great fits. Nice. Congrats, man. Congrats. That's awesome. Their naming sucks. Yeah. Honestly, they could just do AMD GPU 1, 2. I don't know. They could do something interesting, or even name it after the year it comes out would be better, because I lose track, honestly, of the AMD stuff. I'm starting to get back more into the AMD realm, but I'm so heavy in the NVIDIA realm. Raichi, Microsoft Xbox amateurs, Xbox 360 One Series. Yeah, well, Microsoft. See, with Microsoft, with the Xbox, at least I only have to keep track of like generationally 1 to 2 devices. With AMD, 8,000, 9,000. Well, I don't know if they're in the 9,000 series yet, but like 6, 7, 8, and then they've had to like loop over it again and stuff like that. It's just Gundorian Slayer. What goes into the meetings for names for the naming? I don't know. I don't even want to know. Cascader, welcome. How are you doing? You're existing. Oh, hey Vex, how's it going? We need to play. Maybe in the next few weeks we can play some more Last of Us, or not Last of Us. Sons of the Forest, whatever it is. It's getting to that point, right? Okay, so let's talk about what is on the agenda today for today's stream. We've got Intel entering the event. I want to say they're entering, but we'll see. But Intel's entering the handheld space a little bit more seriously, potentially. Then you also have Starfield and Profitability there. Alan Wake 2 being scary, but for the wrong reason. I don't know. We'll talk about the Alan Wake stuff when we get there. I don't see it as big a deal as some people do, but I also have my machine. Then Nintendo is, we're going to talk about Nintendo stuff along with Switch 2 stuff with that. And then we're going to talk about a company attempting to do, sorry, my brain is working great up until this point. Unionizing. And I'll give a little bit of sneak peek, but I'm going to be doing a video tomorrow, and I have it all written out, the bullet point script for unionizing and games, and so you might want to keep an eye on that, as I do think there's a couple of major issues. Gundorian Slayer, nerves on camera. No, I'm tired. It's kids. I got like 5 hours of sleep, and I don't do very well with a low amount of sleep. Okay, but at least I have Liquid Death, which has no caffeine. Okay, so make sure I have no messages. Cascader going to Mexico next week. Yes, congrats, by the way, on that. I thought that was supposed to happen like 2 months ago. Okay. Liquid Death, I like it. So the one I'm trying, so today's stream is sponsored. It's not sponsored. Liquid Death Convicted Melon. I always thought these were silly until I got it, and it has a light bit of flavoring of agave nectar. I have to say, this is tasty. The Convicted Melon. I might actually start. It'd be expensive to drink one every day, but you can get them for almost $1 a can. And in today's world and whatnot, that's not bad for a tall thing like this. Okay. The Real Savage. Welcome. Dude, Real Savage is MVP. Okay. So, I am working on point system, by the way. I'm finally going to have a point system in for Games Rebuild. I guess I'll give a little bit of a sneak peek of that now while we wait for just a couple more people to jump on in, and then we'll get into the news. So the point system is going to be based out of Discord, and it's going to be based out of like sharing, commenting, whatever, and then also streaming here. I'm also going to have a point system on the Brink stuff too. So anything that's Brink related and that channel will have a point system. Points are going to be used for leaderboards and also can be used for entering contests. So Gundorian Slayer, are they healthy drink? Honestly, they are fairly healthy. What it has is carbonated water, agave nectar, citric acid, natural flavor, watermelon, paprika, lime, which is the flavor. So it's watermelon, paprika, and lime, which is interesting. Lime is actually fairly good for your digestive system. You got agave nectar in here, and an agave is a really good sugar for diabetics, in the sense of, I wouldn't say like any sugar is good for diabetics per se, but it's really good because it is, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I said, my brain's not working at 100% right now. Agave has it's slow to digest. It's not it doesn't spike your insulin. So, and it's not very much. There's 4 grams of sugar in this total thing. There's 20 calories in this whole can. In comparison, a can of almost half this size, well, 12 ounces, so about 60% of this would be something like Sprite, would have like 40, maybe 35 to 40, maybe 60. I can't remember exactly grams of sugar. That's not what we're talking about today. But I need to do random streams where I talk about shit. But yeah, there's Liquid Death. It's tasty. I've come to like them more and more. I tried one once, and the lime's good. Some of them are like good, just depends on your taste. But this one, Convicted Melon's pretty good. It has a really good flavor to it. I like it, and I've come to like. I don't necessarily. I will drink seltzers, but I want them to be a little bit more flavorful, and so a little bit of I like a light sweetness to things. I don't like things too sweet anymore. Just got it. Okay, making sure. Yeah. Okay, so Side Streets, I just got the Metal Gear Solid collection off Steam. Not as bad as people say it was. Oh, that's true. We could also look into that too. Side Streets, not a bad one. I'll put that down just in case if we have time. There's a lot of drama. We can go look at the reviews for that and talk about the Metal Gear Solid collection. So I got this one off Amazon. Ooh, maybe I should post a link for this. I'll post a link for this where you can get it if you want off Amazon sometime later. Intel needs to pull their weight in the handheld market again. Let's go. We need competitors. Gondorian Slayer. I wonder what the device of the Intel will be capable of. And Cat Smith for you. Hi. Okay, so first up in our news cycle today, did I say I was going to talk about? I did talk about the point system. The point system is coming. I think you guys will be excited. Okay, sorry. The M-Door EMGP080MTL. I hate it when they do this stuff. So the Intel Meteor Lake H Intel Arc Graphics 5 APU. I believe this is an APU. It will tell you what the CPU and GPU is, but I believe it's an APU, which they're both included on the same thing. AMD does the same thing. And this device is going to be, and I think this is going to become the new standard, 8 inches, and it's going to be a 10 or 19 by 10. I believe that's correct. So 1920 by 1200, that is. Now I'm just like spacing on this. Is it 16 by 10? It's 16 by 10 instead of the 16 by 9 ratio screen, which I think is becoming the new. It's a Steam Deck related version. I like that we're becoming more it's an 8 inches, becoming a little bit more the common one for a lot of these devices. I do wish there was less bezel. That's one thing where Legion Go's like doing a pretty good job. Is their 8.8 inch screen is bezel-less essentially. And make sure to at me if you really want me to get to your comment, because sometimes the comments can get, we can get past what you said, and you might have something really interesting to say. Okay, so Intel's Meteor Lake H chips, also known as the Core Ultra 100H series, are scheduled for release in December. Despite that impending launch, companies like M-Door are already giving us a glimpse of their devices that incorporate this new architecture intended for low-power mobile devices, particularly handheld gaming systems. M-Door, primarily known for its mini PCs and tablet business, is venturing into the handheld gaming device market. And interestingly, the M-Door device doesn't appear marketably different from offerings by competitors like Ayaneo, One X Player, or Ayn. AYN. The company has adopted a similar design while adding some custom features such as built-in stand. I think other devices have had that too. So, but yes, they're going that route. It doesn't look like a bad device. Once again, like it feels a little switchy with the buttons, but at least the joysticks seem about the right size and everything. Let's see here. To note, according to this official specifications, the system is powered by a Meteor Lake H processor. With the operating range of 20 to 25, this power envelope is higher than most handheld devices like the Steam Deck, as low as 9 watts, or Asus ROG Ally 15 watts. It's worth noting that the power range, and I think that's for CPU, by the way, the power range represents the default TDP of the CPU itself and not the exact specification of the device. When the system is in an idle state or operating within MDOR's custom UI overlay, the CPU package power fluctuates between 2 watts and 5 watts within the GPU frequency of 3. I don't know why they bring up GPU frequency of 3.0 gigahertz, as I believe that TDP is CPU based. So we don't have a full, I don't think we know what the GPU will add to all this. The PCIe Gen 4, and I believe it's a 2230 NVMe slot that will hold up to 2 terabytes. It's the Gen 4, so it's fast and everything. And then I believe we got that as 32 gigs. So this one starts out or is only available at 32 gigs, which needs to be the standard. I will say that flat out. And that's one of the things that kind of disappoints me with a lot of devices is that 32 gigs needs to be the standard, especially if you're doing any type of sharing of memory between the GPU and system. Yes, 32 gigs of RAM, which is good. I don't know what the price is for this yet. I'm assuming Intel's slightly probably trying to partner with them. I would hope that Intel's trying to help them out as much as possible, hopefully giving them a good deal so that the Intel chip that they're trying to push into the market will do well. I would imagine this would not be more than $800. The sweet spot for a lot of these devices tends to be around $600 to $700. So as long as they don't go above, let's say, $800, I think they'll do fine with this. It will be interesting. It will probably do really well with certain emulators. I know that Intel does well with certain emulators, but it will be interesting. AMD's really been owning this market a lot, and it will be nice to see a competitor enter the market personally. It does say that it will be running God of War fine, in the sense of a noteworthy detail from the demonstration is that the Arc A5 GPU is capable of running games like God of War. What that means, I don't know, but if it's a demo, like if that's what they wanted the demo, they wanted to show off to people, and they were fine with that, I'm assuming they're expecting that to do well, right? So they wouldn't choose a demo that was garbage, or didn't become compatible at one point like Control did on the Steam Deck, which is, I don't know, it lost its approved status or something like that, and it was one of the demos for Steam Deck, which was hilarious. Okay, so is this video is available or private? Ooh, did this go out before it was supposed to? Ooh, oh no. Okay, so Chad is asking, did I get the Ally? Yeah, I did, and it's right over there. I'm probably going to do 2 videos on it. I'm going to do an overview video of it and how I like it, and then I'm going to do a deep dive into it with a bunch of games and stuff. So I don't want to, I'm really tired of promising things, but I have been in a very big itch of getting a lot of videos recorded. So I've been having fun. Like the video I released yesterday on what is the next device I'm going to get was awesome. Like to record, it was fun to record. Ooh, is there an Alan Wake 2 demo? I don't know if I looked into that. Okay, let's look at chat. That Cat Smith for you, second live stream for me today. What was your first live stream? That Cat Smith for you. Cascoder, I was minority that was championing Konami's efforts to support and release old games. I am disappointed in Konami. Yeah, there's a lot of it's very when we get to the Metal Gear Solid stuff, there's a lot of stupid things that these companies choose. Chad, there are so many handhelds now. I don't even have one yet, and I'm fatigued. Yeah, the thing is, that's why I said we're going to get to a point. People are not going to be buying every single one of these. The top dogs will win out, and it most likely will be the name brands with 1 or 2 brands that have kind of established themselves. I don't think AYN will make it. Personally, I don't think 1X Player will, even though I do like 1X Player. And I do think INEO and GBD, because they're just different, and it's just they need to stop creating those SKUs. We'll make it. Yes, thank you, Wolf. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and bash that bell with your crowbar. Liking the video now and commenting as much as you can really does help push this out to people to watch. Gondorian Slayer Switch Steam Deck started the trend, and now Asus Ally and Legion Go handheld. So Gondorian Slayer, it's not fair to say that Steam Deck started the trend on the PC gaming side. INEO there's other devices that are kickstarted and never came to light. There's a couple. INEO is one of the first brands to come out with something okay, like decently enough. What is it, like 2-3 years ago? So I will give it to INEO, even though they didn't support it very long and there were some issues with it. At least they're not mainstream like Steam Deck, but I definitely put them into like, they kind of started it in some ways. Steam Deck, whether or not they even saw that or not, it would be fair to say that they made it mainstream, right? But they're not necessarily original. They're original in the operating system, though, which is really interesting. The Nintendo Switch is potentially what brought this out, but to be fair, if we were going to start with the Switch, then the DS, and we'd go all the way back to the Game Boy. Original Game Boy started all this. Like, they've progressively gotten better and better and better, and we've gotten to the point where we have small enough die. We have, in the sense of like, our tech has shrunk well enough to hold in our hands and be almost as powerful as the previous generations typically, which is awesome. Switch 2 being, it's going to be like a PlayStation 4 Pro essentially. But I like that take. Yeah, Cat Smith for you. It's the 11 degrees outside for me. Negative 11 degrees. That Cat Smith for you. Where do you live again? You're in Canada, aren't you? Damn. We're going to be hitting a cold. We might get freezing temps tonight. It says it's not going to, but I think it will. I think I got a warning on my phone. Rachie, people said 16 by 9 phones were too big. Of course they were big. The bezels were huge. Yes, the bezels were massive. Let's see. It was set on private. Yeah, I kind of saw that. I was hoping it wouldn't. Like, I was hoping to click into it and maybe it was a mistake. And I say that this is probably preemptive and wasn't meant to leak out some of the videos potentially. So, yes, I'll be doing an overview and a review. 1X is too expensive. Yes, 1X is too expensive. They have some pretty cool stuff to it, and I think for some people it's worth it, but yeah, they are pretty pricey. iOS first, oh my bad. GBD and INEO were some of the first. Hard to keep track of all the handhelds, at least for PC One slot. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, 11 degrees is torture. I think the coldest I've been is negative 40 or 70 with a wind chill. The weather's predicting snow and ice for Halloween here. Really hope not. I know that's kind of crazy for you, Chad. Yeah, so we can get into some banter like that a little bit later. Okay, on to the next one. Starfield and Game Pass drive record Q1 gaming revenues for Microsoft. Hardware sales drop, but Xbox expects further gaming growth following Activision acquisitions. The reason we bring this one up a little bit is that despite lower sales on physical devices, Microsoft saw a 13% increase in revenue from last year, making a total of $57 billion. Oh, it's so much. Like, damn. Microsoft credited the release of Starfield and their Xbox Game Pass to their success. 11 billion people have played Starfield thus far, with roughly half of those playing on PCs. Microsoft set new records with the Microsoft Xbox Game Pass signups in one day ever. Starfield, I mean, this is the cheapest way to play Starfield. You could play Starfield for 2 months, which that's how long it could most likely take you if you played enough to play to your heart content. I have not been playing. I've only put like 70 hours into it. I need to play more. I just kind of got burnt out on it, honestly. But I need to go back and play it. Plus everything else going on. Okay. With the Activision Blizzard acquisition finalized, games like Call of Duty will now be first-party releases titles for Microsoft, rather than third-party releases, guaranteeing greater profit margins in the coming fiscal year. Yes, so them acquiring all these companies, them doing a lot of different, they don't have to license them. They don't get like, oh, you get a 20%, if they're on the device, these companies, when they release a game, they get like a 10-20% cut. Now they get a larger cut. But they also risk a lot more too sometimes. So we'll see how they do. With games like Call of Duty and potentially Warcraft that are kind of money machines, but that cash cow, man, those cash cows can dry up. They are not forever. People need to realize that. I have a feeling that wow, I'm just getting notified that I'm streaming right now. YouTube really needs to improve their system. While these are great large gains for Microsoft gaming divisions, Microsoft main growth continues to be from its productivity and business divisions, which is no surprise. While gaming is massive, and I think it'd be stupid of them to drop it, as it also makes them look good. And here's the thing. When you hook especially the youth more into games on Microsoft, they're going to be more accustomed to Windows, to other things. Apple does this. They make it really cheap for companies, or, well, not companies, but schools to get onto their licenses and devices. It's because it's a hook. Once you're accustomed to it, then you're more likely to push for it when you get into the jobs. This is probably a similar thing. I think it's good to have good PR. Gondorian Center, I'd be getting my Legion soon. Nice. I might be able to work out getting my Legion soon. It just depends. I'm trying to. I could end up buying it within the next week, but we'll see. Mother Nature is angry this year. Lol. Gondorian Slayer. Yeah, no, it's it's not this year. It's been angry for years now. Uh, we had such a long winter last year, and I'm kind of hoping not for as long as one. Chad, the weather is predicting snow, which is okay. Sorry, Gondorian Slayer. You see the new version of Doom for Atari Jaguar? I have not. It's freaking Minnesota, bro. Oh, we can get all the seasons all in. Yeah, okay. Rachie, PC or Steam need quick resume. I can't live without anymore. You can't live without it anymore, Rachie. So that does actually, like, I have been playing, let's see, I played Tony Hawk on the ROG Ally. I paused it, and then I put it to sleep. I was able to bring it out, and it worked. It wasn't as quick as Steam Deck, like Steam OS. And in some games, it doesn't work as well because, as always, like, Windows needs to fix this, and they just never work on it. And I think also games, too. But we don't need to go too deep into that because that could be a very torrid issue. But, yeah, it's not as bad on Windows as I assume. Like, it was, like, a few years ago. Just letting you know. Seasons in 1 week. Yeah, Chad, we're the same here. We can get all the seasons in 1 week. Chris, can we do a poll and see how pre-order go and who didn't? I be getting my Legion Go soon. Oh, I know Lifed and Platinum Spider-Man 2 on Monday. That makes a lot of sense, Cascoder. How was it? How was anyone that's played Spider-Man 2? How was it? I've heard good things. Yeah, let's do. I'll go ahead and create a poll. I don't think I can create a poll from here, though. Let's see. You're going to be seeing notes that I'm making. Okay. I mean, that's not my script that you saw. That was... Okay. Let's see. Here, I Just need to go to this live stream and get the poll going. Okay. Let us poll. Okay, I'm starting a poll. Okay. Did you pre-order the... Gotta spell that right. Okay. I am starting the poll now. The only problem I don't like about polling is that covers up the chat right there, so I have to look over here now. Gondorian Slayer, I wonder if I'd be able to install Linux on Legion Go. Yeah, you'd be able to install Linux on Legion Go. I'm not going to say recommend, but it doesn't mean that everything's going to work perfectly fine on it, drivers-wise. Cascoder, it's definitely one of the best games of the year. I don't know if I liked it more than Zelda personally, but it was a fun time. Interesting. What is everyone else's like favorite game of the year? And can you okay, make sure you guys can hear me. I'm going to vote hell yes for did you pre-order the because I'm even if I don't I hate it when okay. Let's see if I can do it over here. Yeah, it's not gonna let me. I'm gonna say that I did, but even if it comes out before, and by the time I buy it, might as well have. I just didn't have the funds. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. Well, Raichi, Lenovo has many unique drivers and software for their hardware. Yeah, but the basic, like the main parts of it will work. It just the mouse, the detachable pieces, some things might not work. Gondorian Slayer drivers. Will be an issue until for launch at least. Games hadn't touched modern games in a while. Nah, you're good, man. Modern games, what are that? What's that? Okay. Let's get into Alan Wake. Whoa. Alan Wake 2's PC requirements aren't screwing around. So the minimum requirements are graphics low, resolution 1080, which is good for the deck, meaning as long as they let you go below 1080, FSR will help, right? Expect 30 frames per second. And then the GPU, is at 2060 or 6600. In comparison, the Steam Deck is more like between a 1050 and a 1060 when it comes to GPU. It's really hard to say, though, on all that. Then FSR or DLSS will be quality instead of performance, which is promising. I think it's going to run on the Steam Deck, honestly. I think a lot of people are really complaining, but I do think, it's like 1080 is fine, but I don't care about ray tracing and I don't need 60 frames for a narrative game. So yeah, I would be really surprised if this did not end up playing on the Steam Deck. So granted, the CPU requirement of an i5 7600K isn't bad. That's what I used to have in my last machine, according to this article. But you'll need to at least have an RTX 2060 equivalent card, and that's for low graphic settings, folks. And you're still expected to have super sampling, by the way, DLSS on here, or FSR2, which, while better than FSR1, still looks too melty to my eyes. I disagree with that. Melty depends on the game, depends on a lot of different things that happen with it. But melty, I don't know. It can be grainy at times because it's trying to fill in pieces, and if you're moving really fast, it takes a lot longer. That's the nice thing about FSR3 is that it does much better with higher frame rates. But with Kotaku, not the crap on Kotaku, and there's a lot of people crapping on this. This is probably like almost 2 weeks old at this point. I don't think I covered it last week, but this and we're going to be talking about handheld gaming. This and this, once that's turned down, I think we'll be okay. This 16 gigs of RAM is a little bit of a, because it's shared with the graphics card. Once again, another reason why I really think they need to come out with a new deck and just bump up that performance a little bit. I think it will I think you'd be surprised how many more years the Steam Deck would last if they just had a little bit of a makeover with the newest stuff. But yes, I think I don't see these as being crazy, excessive for Alan Wake 2. I don't know. You guys can let me know. Recommended for 1080p. So this is recommended. You get graphics setting of medium, 1080p, 60 frames, 3070. And this is where it starts to get a little bit crazy, where I know where people kind of go a little crazy. 3070 or 6700 XT is getting up there, and like, okay, well, those are a little pricey. And then performance, which is interesting that it's performance there instead of quality. That's an interesting one. So you set this to performance instead of quality. Yeah, and then the CPU, of course. Then if you want recommended 1440, yeah, you got 3060s. We don't need to go into every single thing. Balance. These are interesting recommendations, by the way. I really wish they would have put in, like, they need to start putting in handhelds for this type of stuff. But Alan Wake 2 Ultra 4K settings is where it starts to get definitely interesting. It wants a 4070 or 7800 XT equivalent, 12 gigs of VRAM, and it's still set at medium graphics. Now, the resolution at 4K and it's 60 frames per second is going to look pretty slick. Now, they're not even into ray tracing. They haven't upped the graphics to high or anything like that. We get into ray tracing, medium and then low, and then you have 1080, and you can start to see, okay, this isn't too bad with ray tracing if you don't want high frame rates. And then, let's see. Okay, and then if you want to get into the high ray tracing, like so medium ray tracing, 4070, and if you want to just up everything, you need to have a 4080 or higher with 16 gigs of VRAM. No surprise there. This will be equivalent to my 3090 in a lot of ways, so I have a feeling I'll be able to play Alan Wake 2 on pretty much high. So at the end of the day, I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. It won't hurt me too much. I'm not sure about you guys in the sense of like what you guys think this will do with your computers or handhelds. I think it will run on the Steam Deck. That being said, that's if it runs, you know. There's been all those AAA title hiccups and everything that kind of hurt things. So we'll see how it really does go. But yeah, make sure to vote if you can on the poll, and we'll continue on. Okay. Raichi, Lenovo has, oh, no. Okay, wait. Chris Lee, I pre-ordered it on the 15th. I'm assuming you're talking about the Legion Go. Nice. Gondorian Slayer, years of being on the computer wears down. Well, yeah, exactly, Gondorian. Raichi, also FSR DLSS is required. Anyway, this game is on Epic Game Store. Yeah, well, Raichi, I don't mind buying stuff on Epic Game Store. Yes, they do throw in the FSR and DLSS, but it doesn't necessarily mean the performance is going to be bad without it. I think that's an assumption on people's parts, and honestly, we'll see. And it could be highly optimized with DLSS and FSR. We'll see, though. Honestly, I've been playing most of my games with DLSS and FSR for a while now, and this is just a nothing burger for me. And that's another thing. I've kept an eye on this for a few weeks now, and I've just been like, and? Okay. Welcome, Satanic. How's it going? Gundorian Slayer, methinks that Alan Wake 2 may not run well. Well, if they're struggling with requirements, it sounds like they're trying new hardware. Yes. So it's a new game, and I think Unreal 5. I don't know what Alan Wake 1 was built on. It could be the Unreal Engine. I can't remember. I feel like they were using their own engine. I believe this is going to be on the Unreal 5 engine, and there's a lot of optimizations or a lot of things that you can go really bleeding edge into that are very intensive on GPU and CPU, especially CPU. We'll see. I do think there's going to be some performance hiccups, but I mean, the demos have looked so good. So we'll see. I mean, it's not like demos don't always look good. I'm going to Slayer. I find Steam gamers funny bunch. Steam game. Yeah. Satanic. Alan Wake 2 reviews drop tomorrow morning. I know. I'm a little worried about it. When does Alan Wake 2 come out again? I haven't been too concerned because I don't think I'm going to buy it right away. Even though this is a game that I've been waiting for forever. It's 27th. I could maybe get a review copy. I then have to review it. And game reviews don't do as well on the channel. I'm obligated. I don't know if you guys want to see more game reviews or not. Let's see here. Remedy uses their Northlight engine. That's true. Satanic, thank you for that. Gondorian Slayer, Unreal 5 engine may do Unreal Engine 5 or Unreal 5 engine may do well, at least in the front engine wise, that is. Yeah, no, the Unreal 5 engine is going to do fine, I think. We'll see, though. But as long as it's optimized right, we've already had multiple Unreal 5 games that work great on Steam Deck. Chris Lee, I can't wait until Crimson Desert and Black Myth, Wukong, and Stellar Birth. Oh, yeah, that's right, Chris Lee. You keep bringing those up, and they look really interesting. Satanic, I pre-ordered it and skipped Spider-Man. I'll refund if it gets hammered. 100% Satanic. Sometimes, like, if it's a game like this, I will pre-order it to show my support for those studios, showing I want the studio to do well and to put the resources that you can. But yeah, if it gets really bad reviews, like really bad, sometimes I just will pull the pre-orders. It depends. Okay, so I don't know why I went back to that. Okay, so Alan Wake 2, I think it's gonna be awesome. I think it's gonna be fun. It's a great time of the year. Let's move on to the next thing. Nintendo more focused on games and hardware features, Bowser says, which is, I don't even know what to say. Oh, and let's end, I'm going to end the poll. So with the poll ending with 25% saying, hell yes, they're going to be pre-ordering the Go, or they pre-ordered the Go. 50% saying, no. And then another 25%, the last 25%, saying they might still pre-order it or buy the Go. I have a feeling people are waiting for the reviews and everything. Okay. Fill that little gap in. Okay. Now that we have that poll closed, I can see down here better. Okay. So, I only want to cover this briefly because then we're going to get into more stuff. So, according to this article, while the next Nintendo's device is almost guaranteed, Nintendo America President Doug Bowser, which he became the president of the North America branch because, Bowser, says that Nintendo is less concerned with the new device and more concerned with the experience of the games they make. Here's the thing, guys. You got to be concerned about both in some form or fashion. The Switch 2 is very important. You need to get that out because it's really showing on the Switch 1 some games. Okay. He says the focus more on immersive experience of their games versus the devices their games are played on. Bowser believes that Nintendo's use of different unique art styles, which also sets them apart in the industry, helps with the longevity of their games as well as their hardware. I 100% agree with that. Like, the problem is if they want their hardware to do well and become more mainstream, if they're going to port games like Call of Duty and Hogwarts over, they're going to it's not just about them. Like, that's like then close your device off to just yourself. Don't open it to other game companies to publish on it. It's a little bit of a selfish move, in my opinion. What this means for a Nintendo device, which is badly needed, as highlighted by the Mortal Kombat 1 fiasco, is anyone's guess. I think they're just trying to push off bad PR, maybe from the Mortal Kombat 1, bad publicity kind of stuff going on with that, where it looks like a potato. But we already know that it's in the works. And so let's get on into this next one. Nintendo discusses new platform, implies backwards compatibility for Switch 2, which is awesome, by the way. And this is just a render. Like, obviously, like there's a lot of just different Switch 2 things going around. I think this one's actually kind of a cool one, even though I don't like the bubbly things not being flush. But that's just what someone's hoping it looks like. Okay. Nintendo says it will keep its current account system for its next iteration of the Switch, allowing players to upload their current info and data from the OG Switch to Switch 2. While rumors have circulated that Nintendo gave secret showing of the Switch 2 at Gamescom, Nintendo America President Doug Bowser refused to comment on whether the rumors were true. I do think there's stuff going around about it. But that is interesting. Yeah, just leaks happen so much these days. Bowser did elaborate on, I bet you the NDA that they had to sign was crazy. I mean, I went to an E3 once and I had to sign an NDA for something I went to there. Bowser did elaborate on this new accounts approach, explaining that each new Nintendo device, there has been a new account system forcing players to set up a new accounts each time they bought a new Nintendo console. But with this new approach, we'll make the Switch 2 backwards compatible. This also means that your existing digital Switch games can be uploaded to the new device. And then Nintendo, despite strong rumors of the Switch 2, still is trying to keep sales for the original Switch going and avoid. Yeah, that's probably what it is. What they're probably going to do is that they're going to announce the Switch 2 the beginning of next year. I bet you they want people to still keep on buying Switches for this Christmas for kids and stuff. And then they're going to announce it probably within a 6-month release period. So they're going to announce it, and then 6 months later, they're going to release it. They're probably going to keep it pretty tight so they don't hurt their Switch sales, which is honestly, I get it, but Nintendo has become this money printing machine that's soulless in a lot of ways, and it kind of pisses me off. It's not they still do have, like, the games are about the games, but at the same time, so much stuff is just so cold. Switch 2, every single thing we need to know so far, or we know so far, that is, the release date and price. So we can just go over this again. Switch 2. Considering that March 2024 marks the 7-year anniversary of the Nintendo Switch, it's possible an announcement could be made without the successor. Then, generally, a console generation is about 7 to 8 years. The tech powering the Switch is outdated by several console generations. The company already confirmed that sales for the Switch have been falling fast, but it's in no rush to release new hardware anytime soon. The plan they're really they should have released one a year ago. Yes, would it eat into the Switch's sales, but their sales would have boosted so high. At this rate, I have a feeling that they've waited a little too long. And like I've said, people don't want to hear this. People do not want to hear this. This Steam Deck does compete with the Switch. I know a lot of people say otherwise, but I can only play one effing system at a time. While I will buy both, not everyone will. And we'll see with the Switch 2. I could be wrong, but more and more gamers are on the go. More and more gamers exist. That also takes into account. But I do think that these portable PC games with Steam and everything and all the good deals that people are seeing more and more of is going to hurt the Switch 2 sales. Potentially, I don't spitballing into the air, but like 5 to 10% probably is going to be like, if they never released these PC handhelds, you'd probably see a 5, 10, 15% increase in the sales of the Switch 2 potentially. Like, that's a big deal. For some people, that doesn't sound big, but that's a lot of money when you're talking about selling tens and hundreds of millions of devices. Okay. What? Okay. Yeah, so the rumor is September 24th, 24 release date, which fun and all, 24, 24. I do think it's going to come before or right at the cusp of the holiday season. And I bet you there will not be a shortage this time around. It's rumored to be around a digital-only Switch priced at $400. Why would you do a digital-only? A cartridge doesn't cost much. Okay, a CD drive, I get it. Cartridge slot, I do not get that. So $400 for a digital as opposed to a $449. Yeah, you know how much that cartridge slot probably costs to put in is like $1 of that. Like that's a ridiculous markup. And Nintendo it continues to piss me off with some of their decisions to just eke out money. They really don't need a digital only. I really hope that they don't do this. But yeah, there's a leaker that's talking about that there's going to be a digital and non-digital version of the device. And this is one of those devices that just doesn't need it. As mentioned above, the presumed rumor is that Nintendo will be releasing 2 versions of the Switch 2. It will also remain a hybrid handheld console as well. So if that's one thing, one of the main things you'd like about the original Switch, there's no need to worry. So that means the controllers on the sides will continue to be there. Nintendo Switch 2 specs. These are the rumored specs. I think we went over these a few weeks ago. But Nintendo Switch 2 possible specs is DLSS 3.1, which is going to be really cool and could add a lot of niceties, including high refresh rate screen. I don't know what the screen is going to be per se, but there's a potential for that. 12 gigs of RAM, which is really low, and honestly, didn't mean to click that. Really, once it's with everything, they're going to manage that RAM much better than a Windows and Steam Deck machine. But 12 gigs is not a very future-proof spot. I would have done 24 if I was Switch. I know that sounds super excessive, but might as well spend a few more bucks to make this more future-proof. Ray tracing is also an interesting concept for the Switch 2, and I'm not surprised. With certain games like the Mario games and some other games that they can come out with that are very heavily stylized could really benefit, and ray tracing will run fine on something like that. So far, we know 3 games that have been demoed: The Matrix, Unreal 5 tech demo, that's impressive, Breath of the Wild update, and then Final Fantasy 7 are. Breath of the Wild will 100% be getting a re-release. Okay. Metro Prime 4 is in the works. That is most likely going to be a launch title for the Switch 2. And then I think there's a couple other speculations. You guys can let me know, and I'll get into chat soon-ish, back into chat. But you guys can let me know what other games you think are going to be coming out around the launch of the Switch 2. More and more, we've been getting really poor launch titles with new hardware. And I'd love to see that change for the Switch 2. Albeit, I probably will get a Switch 2. I'm not as excited for it as I am like the Legion Go kind of thing, as I have so many games on Steam. But I have quite a bit of Switch games, and so if I can play my Switch games backwards compatible, like if it's backwards compatible, awesome. I have a feeling cartridge-wise it might not be, though. Okay, so let's get back into chat a little bit. Let's see here. Satanic Survival Horror has been on a roll this year. Everything else has been undercooked or underwhelming. Starfield. Starfield, I'm going to have to be doing like a specialty video on that. Satanic Switch 2 for third party is already outdated. I can't imagine it being more powerful than the Steam Deck. The Switch 2 is going to be more powerful. By quite a bit, honestly. I think so. Like, I think it's an NVIDIA style APU, and from what I've read already, it's going to be pretty powerful. It's probably going to be like a PlayStation 4. Pro, yeah, a PlayStation 4 Pro, that is. Which Steam Deck is more like the PlayStation 4. I don't think it's going to be as powerful as the PlayStation 5, but I really we'll see. I really do think the Switch 2 will do really well in certain aspects and be highly optimized. They've got that down pat for sure. Um, the Steam Deck is already after this year, the Steam Deck, and I've talked about this. I even said this a year ago. I'm a little disappointed potentially. And at the beginning of the year, I was very hopeful with games like Dead Space playing fairly well on the deck. This year has made me, because I've seen games played really well on the RJ Ally that have not played well on the deck. And I've been very disappointed in the deck's performance this year. And that Valve decided to not make a Steam Deck 2 next year out of a newer chipset. Or just a Steam Deck 1, or Pro, that is. I know. They've said what they've said. I'm just disappointed. Doesn't mean that it's the end of the world either. I like it. Cascutter, you were even asked to sync the accounts during the setup of a Switch account. Yeah. Which is good. Which is also... that's actually kind of bad. They should be doing that behind the scenes and not having the user sync accounts. That's weird. Chris Lee, I would like to know more about Ioneo Flip DS and games on it and battery life, but it's early for it. Yeah, it's a little early, Chris Lee. Once we get more information on it and once we get further on, I'll cover the Flip DS some more, which is kind of fun. The flippity flop flop DS. Hopefully it's not a flop. Cascoder, I don't believe the digital physical rumors. Not convinced. I'm not either. I would expect them to come out with one device, but I think we talked about this Cascoder like a while ago, potentially in a podcast episode that they're not doing OLED for this one. They're doing regular, but the screen tech nowadays is much better than what it was back when the Switch came out. Chris Lee, does anyone like sports games on their handhelds? I like Tony Hawk Pro 1 and 2. Beyond that, not really. And maybe I'll get into a basketball game again. It's just, I feel like, I think I've got it down. I don't mind sports games. I actually used to play a lot of them back when I was a teen, even though I preferred more story-based games. What I think has got me disappointed in sports games for just period is the milking. It doesn't feel innovative. It doesn't feel fresh. It doesn't feel fun. Honestly, it just does not feel fun. But maybe there's a basketball game for me to play out there. I do like basketball. But the Steam Deck too. Yeah, we'll see. Gondorian Slayer back, had dinner. Oh yeah, chicken strips, nice. Chicken strips. I'm so hungry. Raichi Series 8. Are you talking about Raichi? The Series S 10 gigabytes of RAM was something very stupid. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Yeah, and I would agree. Gondorian Slayer, digital future won't happen. We'll be fine. Forcing it will make it not work. Well, look at Disney's services. Okay, so Gondorian Slayer, just to throw a little bit of wrench into that, digital services are in a very much mixed realm, and Disney saying that they're losing money is them trying to get out of, most likely, unions trying to push for more revenue splitting and royalties, that is, I should say. From my understanding, Hollywood is notorious for doing Hollywood accounting. It's a thing where in Hollywood, they will say something loses money because they'll market or something like that first year and say it was a flop. But then they make residuals after that, and they end up making a ton of money in the long run. Most of the movies that have been flops over the years have not been. They've been huge money makers, and it's very, very deceiving and disgusting. So a good chance is that Disney's trying to say that and doing write-offs and doing all sorts of stuff, and that they just need to tweak it. They've also been giving it away for dirt cheap, and there's just so much that goes into the Disney services. Digital future, though, a digital-only future, it's on its way. I'm sorry. It's going to happen. How fast, I don't know. But the numbers, the statistics show only 20 to 30% of people on consoles play with physical media now. That's not a good sign. Gundorian Slayer plus Japan physical sales are doing good. Yes. Oh, Gundorian Slayer, they said 80. Yes. No, and that's the thing. Japan will be fine. Japan likes their stuff like that. Potentially. It could change. We already are purely digital on the PC. Consoles going purely digital is most likely going to happen in the next 10 years, for sure. I don't like it, but it's just kind of what it is. I do want them to. I would love things to like. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a renaissance of going back to like specialty chips, like hollow, like a new type of medium that's nice collector's medium. In like 10 years, there might be a reversal. It's honestly, and we'll see how much it costs them, because printing a disc, creating a disc, shipping it and everything, that is a logistics cost. So is having a game re-downloaded with servers, and servers are cheap, but only to a certain extent. If over, let's say, a 10, 20-year period, and people keep on downloading the same game over and over again, especially if they have limited space on their devices, we could see something of a resurgence. Chris Lee, looking forward to undisputed boxing on the Lenovo Legion Go, just like Madden and UFC games. Undisputed boxing. Okay, nice, Chris Lee. That'll be fun. They might try those laser discs again. Who knows? I think it could be. We could see a resurgence, honestly. Now, going into, like I talked about with Hollywood, unionizations, a lot of stuff. No matter how you think about unions, in the past, they've been very good for workers' rights and not killing people. Where most of us here are workers, we do not own businesses or are. I own a business, but I'm still for workers' rights to an extent. And I do like unionization. That's my take on that. I get it, and I'm going to be doing a video in the next day or two on something along these lines. And I just want to briefly mention this. That employees of the Express Game Solutions, a video game testing company owned by Manpower Group, or organizing a union. I'm not going to go much more into this, actually. I just want to say this is the start, and especially I could see game testing companies doing this, and the reason why is they get worked like hell. They get overworked. There's just so much craziness that goes into it. The game industry alone, like the amount of people that get screwed over in software, people think that, every software engineer is getting rich and all that. Yes, we do get paid fairly decent, but it's been going down over the past few years, actually. While companies are still making record profits, they're letting go of more and more engineers and doubling up their work. It's been a huge trend over the past year. It's really bad. And they've been able to get away with it. Now, most people say, well, then move on. Well, you can only move on so much before things get tightened. And if AI comes in and replaces more and more, there's not a lot of leverage. So unionization is one way to go, or there could be multiple different ways to go. In the game industry, though, I definitely think it's needed, as I do think building a game it's very creative field, and requires the team to be, honestly, to have more control over it than the business side of things. It still needs to make money. They still need to have a budget, and unions do not own the company. This is not a socialist company. A union is speaking for the workers. So I will go off and say this is going to be a good thing, if at the bare minimum to scare companies into saying, hey, look, this is the future if you don't wise up. Because the abuse has been happening for a long time. Companies that even said they wouldn't do it, CD Projekt Red, if you listen to our podcast, did it. They overworked. Here's the thing. And I don't want to go into my talking points because I did a whole script for this. if you're working more than 40 hours a week, every week, and you're getting paid the same as you should be 40, it's wage theft. And we're in a period where that doesn't need to be a thing. Pay more, or don't overwork them, or have longer periods. Okay, so let's see. As long as the U.S. businesses make a great physical video discount, it will be good. But the Canadians will absorb it into physical prices. I will stick with digital. Okay, yeah, Rachie, I could totally see that, because there's tariff. Is there tariffs on games? I don't know. Chris Lee, I have a question to ask you. Ask away. Gondorian Slayer, I hear about those crunch stuff. I agree. Yeah, it's so bad. The crunch is so bad. I'm burnt out, and I'm not even in game development. I'm burnt out on software development. And right now I'm in a very much more relaxed position at my current job, which is nice. It's very nice. But yeah, who knows how long it will last? I don't know. I'm very skeptical. Rachie, union, it will create a happy 10 to 20% well-paid employee, then 80 to 90% subcontractor slaves. Yeah, you can. From my understanding, no. You can't. You can't just do that. You can't do subcontractors and do stuff like that. Like, let's say unionized, then you let go of a bunch of stuff. There's tons of penalties that come with all that. Gondorian Slayer, without workers, no games. 100%. But here's the sad part. There will be people that always want to they can get people from India. They can always try to, they've exported our jobs over to certain, if you're in America, they exported their jobs to other economies that were growing, but in very much, I should say, lower standard kind of areas that can get cheaper labor. Honestly, it's a very predatory thing, especially in today's world where if we just work together, nothing needs to come for, no one should be killing themselves for their company, for the most part. I mean, there's exceptions, high dangerous, like being a police officer or army, stuff like that. There are some exceptions, and some of those do come with hazard pay. So yeah, no Gondorian Slayer, you're right. No games, no genres, no game of the year. That's the thing. It's just, I don't have a whole lot of hope. Like, do you guys have a lot of hope? Blizzard, EA, Active, like Ubisoft, like, they're not doing well these days. In the sense of, like, they're still milking money, but they're not producing a lot of good stuff these days. Yes, Cascoder, don't forget to hit that like button. Chris Lee, is there any way to put your games on your handheld? Because I have a lot of video games. What do you mean, Chris Lee? If you're talking about like old CD games and stuff like that, you can rip ISOs off and put them on your device and then run the ISO in, like, as you would a device. But I kind of have, I don't know if I have a guide per se, but I do have a video where I did it during my challenge, my Steam Deck holding challenge, like a year and a half ago. Gondorian Slayer, no, they are not low. Yeah, exactly. It's a weird talking point to talk about on this type of thing, but we're definitely in like a slight end game of capitalism. And it's kind of very telling with a lot of companies that we've looked up to, and how, like, this alone, Metal Gear, let's go look at the Metal Gear collection. This alone. Now, I've heard good things, but it's just, the problem is for how much you spend with the collection, you're not getting a whole lot. So this is kind of a good segue. Let's see here. Oh, come on. Give me bullet points. I want bullet points. I don't want to freaking read it. Okay. First up is the lack of visual upgrades on the new platform, or parity with the original versions of Switch, as shared prior to release. Metal Gear Solid still only plays at 30 frames per second across all versions. It was never remastered for 2011's Metal Gear Solid HD collection by Blueprint Point Games. The Switch version of Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 are also locked at 30 frames per second. Metal Gear Solid 2 originally ran at 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 2. And I think it had, around that time, and there was a reason for that. This is ridiculous, guys. All 3 games max out at 1080 as well, with no 4K resolution options for the stronger hardware versions. Another not okay thing. Like I can get, depending on how much they're selling it for. If they're selling this for $5 for the whole collection, I'm okay with that. How much are these going for, though? We'll go and look in a second. Even without any big improvements, Konami notes that the launch versions still suffer from various bugs and performance issues. It plans to patch sometime in the future. A full list of shortcomings was provided to IGN. Across Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, bug fixes are also planned specifically on Metal Gear Solid 2. The site noted, Konami warned the game may significantly slow down in certain cutscenes, which sounds worrying. A patch to reduce processing load is planned. How? How's there a processing load? These are, I know they're emulated. And that's another thing. From my understanding, they actually ship these in emulators that are potentially free to people. And they're not even the best version. You can emulate these games better with better mods. Visual options like CRT scan lines and ability to switch between windowed and full screen modes in the option menu in the 2 MSX games are also MIA at the moment. There's also a laggy pause button Konami added, and the option to pause during the cutscenes, a long requested feature for the story-heavy Stealth series. Footage from game copies of the game that leaked earlier, however, showed that it can take up to 10 seconds for the game to register the pause button. There's some major issues with their emulation system that they're using for this. It is still unclear that it's intentional or will be patched down the road. Let's see here. Yeah, we can kind of expect it. Most galling for me personally are the games altogether missing from the physical Switch version of the collection. In North America, at least, only Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and Snake's Revenge are actually on the game card. The 3 Metal Gear Solid games, which are the main ones advertised on the front of the box, must be downloaded separately. So these ones mentioned on the front of the box are the ones that, at least Metal Gear Solid 3, I think needs to be downloaded separately. As someone who treats their Switch like a physical repository for retro remasters and reissues, it's frustrating to have a real after. And see, this is what some of you guys would really hate this. I actually do hate when they do the Switch. When I buy a Switch game physical, don't give me damn codes. Give me 2 cartridges. I really hate it. I've had so many games that have given me it, and I'm like, I can't resell this. Like, I'd rather just have it all digital at that point and give me a discount. Like I said, I don't care so much about physical sometimes, but if you're giving me the option, I'm going to try to get physical on the consoles. Don't do the split. I really hate it. Cyberpunk future, right? Yeah, we're definitely on our way to a cyberpunk future. I don't think it's going to happen that way. I think we like things being cushy a little too much, in the sense of, I would be really surprised if we don't continue down into an evolved version of capitalism, socialism. But that's very like political. I don't think capitalism is going to go away, which is fine. I like capitalism to a point. Gondorian Slayer, what the collection has, Konami has usual. Nerdified, I wonder when people are finally allowed to release Lenovo Legion Go reviews. I think the embargo I thought it was up to date, but it might be in the next 2 days. We can look up the Legion Go's review embargo soon. Gondorian, I have a feeling there's a very glaring thing that people are going to talk about. And so, yeah. Gondorian Slayer, Fallout, Konami never changes. Yeah, Konami does not ever change. Chris Lee, yeah, I need to learn how to use computers. No problem, Chris Lee. It does take a lot of work. But yes. Chris Lee, it's possible you can get an external Blu-ray player. Yep, exactly, Gondorian Slayer. You can get it, and you can just look up how to copy games on, like, old games on discs onto computer. I'm not going to go too much into a lot of all that, but for right now. Okay, so Metal Gear Collection. Let's see here. The collection. Why is this volume 1? So Volume 1, which is $20, is Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake and Metal Gear Solid Master Collect. Oh wait, is that just the 2? So for $60 you can get all of them. I mean, that doesn't seem horrible, but if it plays bad, then that's bad. I feel like it should be $5. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection version is best experience with the controller. This title also supports keyboard controllers. Yeah, if we go and look down at the reviews, runs poor. It's just an ISO on an emulator that is poorly optimized. Better off emulating it so you can actually have settings for resolution. So that's an interesting take, and I'm wondering how true that is. This is a PS1 game. It runs terribly. Emulating it using DuckStation is really bad. It's sad when this is the option. If you can't beat this, then you've lost. You must close the game, otherwise it will erase your save game if you forget to say goodbye to hours of time. It has to save on close? No, that's so bad. This might even be worse than the Warcraft Reforged remaster. That's bad. The original game supported DualShock controller with analog control. This version maps your analog stick to the digital pad. Linear filtering makes the image blurry, and you can't disable or select other filters. Lack of input mapping. It's using VO to accept temporary values. That's bad. This is gonna have to be patched. It's gonna have to be. I don't even know what to say to that. This person did enjoy it, though. Psycho Mantis looked through my browser history and died. That is hilarious. Fantastic. So, there's still people that enjoyed it. I will have to say, I don't know if they were expecting a remaster. I think it just needed a little bit more work in the oven and maybe they could have done HD remake, but or not remaster, not a remake. I don't know. What do you guys think? Gondorian Slayer tomorrow. The reviews come out tomorrow. Okay, good. I was thinking today for some reason, but I was probably reading someone's tweet that was in a different time zone. Okay, this is Volume 1. Yeah, so Volume 2, let's see. Volume 1. Wait. This is by the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. This collection, what the Master Collection version. I really hate it when they do these. Just have one version. Just have one version, guys, that I can buy. Don't freaking branch it off. Okay, I do want this. I'm a little skeptical now, but I would want it from Snake Eater. I'm actually, and maybe 2. I'm not the biggest fan of the original Metal Gear. I have friends that love it, though. Oh, they have it branched off to where you can just get it on its own for $20. I honestly think that all these together probably should have been $20 to $30 if they didn't change anything. Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, Metal Gear, the NES version, which is interesting. And then Snake's Revenge. People forget how many different versions of Metal Gear there technically are. Yeah. Oh, that would be kind of fun, actually. Mixed 490. Wow, it is not doing well. This is a hot game. I'm only getting that many reviews and then mixed. People do get very angry about very little things, though, so I don't know. I sometimes take some of this stuff with a grain of salt. Oh, was it playing the trailer? I'm sorry. I don't have my speakers on. I couldn't hear. Volume 2 will have Solid Snake 4. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Cascoder. Thank you for letting me know. Almost blew out my air. I'm so sorry. I don't have my speakers on, so I couldn't tell. Chris Lee, when you get a chance to look at Tony Hawk's keyboard, not going to sell it, but I would like to look at it and tell me what you think. Yeah, you just throw it into Discord. Have you thrown it into Discord? Throw it into Discord. I'd be interested to talk about it there. Just mention it somewhere, or else I'll forget. Chad, don't forget to hit that like. Okay, yeah, thank you, Chad. The Confusion collections are back. Mute Steam page audio. This is muted now, right? You can't hear anything. And then Gonzo Dorian Slayer. That's why I don't pay attention to reviews. I do. I pay attention to reviews for a couple specific pieces. It will not ultimately be the decider for me on a game per se, on like if it's an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I thought Starfield was really good. I thought Cyberpunk 2077 was really good, and it got a lot of mixed reviews. I saw what it was. I played it. I liked it. But if it's got really poor optimizations, really poor performance, if let's say you forget to save the game, or you forget to exit out of the game before saving, or if power goes out and you lose all your progress, that's a big no for me. Not until that's fixed. So, yeah. Chris Lee, when are you going on the Discord? I'm on Discord all the time. I'm kind of just a lurker, but I will be on Discord later. It's not muted now. I'm just not in a place where it's going to be playing. Yeah. Okay. That is pretty much what I have for today. Do you guys have anything else? I don't think I do. I have a couple of videos I'm working on. ROG Ally, the unions thing. Then I also have a Halloween podcast and video I'm working on too. Hopefully I can get that out on time. Ooh, check out the Atari Jaguar new demo. Doom. Okay. Okay. This. Wait, what is this? Atari Jaguar is getting a new version. Okay. I agree. Atari Jaguar is getting a new versions of Doom, Doom 2, and Heretic. It's going to be loud. Give it a second. Oh my gosh. Oh, the Jaguar. Yeah. Okay. This is like old school stuff. And it's getting new versions of it. Is someone like revamping it and releasing it? Yeah. You don't think it has a trailer yet, but this is it. Huh. That's pretty cool, actually. Gondorian Slayer. Chris Lee, what do you think about the Mario Wonder game? It looks fantastic. Maybe we should have covered it today, but I'm going to wait probably a few months before I get it on Switch, and then I want to play it on my Steam Deck or hopefully the Legion Go. Yeah, new features. It definitely looks a little bit improved, but I don't know. These types of things are really cool, but sometimes, yeah, it's intense. Cascoder Mario Wonder is super fun. Will be a good game to play on a flight. Oh, I bet it will be. Cascoder, is that where you're going to play it? Okay. I'm the same way. I'm not sure if I get it. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'll probably. Oh, you couldn't see the Atari thing. I switched over already. Sorry. To be fair though, I will probably hit a collector's portion of my, thing. I've already I've got a Dreamcast with Half-Life, and Half-Life's a big game, and there's a couple like Resident Evils and a bunch of different games I would probably start collecting at one point. But I'm in and out of my collector phase, but I'll probably hit a bigger collector phase in the future. Yeah, the Atari Jaguar controllers. Yeah, let me show people this. This is the controller. Albeit, I played it with a keyboard, and I think I've played it with just a keyboard before, where he had to use the controls over here, and then my friend would use the some keys over on the other side of the keyboard to shoot. I can't even remember if you could jump in that. Probably maybe jump, but we'd be like one side. One would control where you look and go, and the other one would control shooting and all that stuff. Do they have a new version of the controller? Maybe. Yeah. I do not know. They have a CD add-on? Damn. That's crazy. Look at that. It's crazy how we've extended old tech. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Chris Lee, so if you buy a game on your Steam Deck and it's online, do you pay? How does that work? Chris Lee, you do not pay. So if it's on the Steam Deck, if it's like Call of Duty, you do not pay for anything online. If it's World of Warcraft, then you do pay for online access. So there's like MMOs that cost monthly, or it has a subscription, but most games, online games, are not. Once you buy the game, it's playable. Gondorian Slayer, yeah, tech at the 90s had many add-ons. Yeah, oh my god, we still have some add-ons from it. Yeah. Pioneer Laser Active CLD, oh my gosh, has packs. One of the Sega and Konami, but pricey, 600 smackaroos. They were pretty, some of the tech was really expensive because they weren't planning a lot of people to be buying it, so they have to make it worth the purchase. Kind of crazy, though. It's really crazy. I don't even think some of the stuff was that profitable back then. It's just amazing that they stuck with it and innovated the way they did. Okay, so I am going to be streaming on the Brink channel on Discord. I'm going to be updating my schedule. I probably won't be there Friday or tonight. I have to get a couple things done. But I will be updating it, and I will be playing this weekend. I will be working on the Halloween game that we have had, but I've had a couple things come up and makes it a little harder. I was kind of hoping to get more done, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to be doing more just showcasing what's built. And then They Hunger, I do want to play that on stream, and so you'll see that. Then also, I like doing birthday streams, so I might do a birthday stream next November 2nd. I'll probably do a birthday stream for like an hour or two. Yeah, Chris Lee, if you want to buy Diablo 4, I think you can get it on Steam, and it's not going to be online. Like, you don't pay monthly, or there's no subscription fee for it. Oh, thank you, Gunthorn Slayer. With Chris Lee, all you have to be is connected, and you go on, and you can you just join the game, and it will put you into the game with other people in it. Sometimes you can also join groups or just solo it. Gundorian Slayer, how old? Once I hit like 35, I was like, oh, mid 30s, this is easy. And yeah, no, I'm 30. I'm going to be turning 37, which is now I'm like, ugh. But yeah, I mean, when I eat healthy and work out, I feel better than I was when I was in my late 20s. So I just need to do it better and get more sleep. Honestly, my kids are the ones that that's preventing me from feeling better than I should. Another reason I need to get going as soon as I'm going to go to bed early, but I have to get a report out to work. Also starting next month, I'm starting my dev journey and trying to really try to do a lot of game development, but I also am going to be trying to do a lot more videos. I have a lot of help with Susie researching for me, and I think she might be playing Dead Space on stream too. So, Chris Lee, can I ask what you do for work? I am a software engineer, and then I am currently morphing into content creator / game developer. My goal in like a couple of years is to have a successful game development studio. Whatever that means. It could mean 2 people. I don't care. I released a game. I liked it. It did well enough to pay bills. And I'll continue to do YouTube. I've really been enjoying doing YouTube and streaming. The problem is I just need to get better at planning and getting everything. And I'm really trying to consolidate a lot of stuff I've promised over the past year and make it work. So I'm working hard on that. And then Gondorian Slayer, not bad. You look good. Thank you. Yeah, no, I eat healthy enough. I do need to work out more, but yeah. Schedule is always a pain. And also this year has just been a freaking ride of just everything. I've hated it. There's a reason why I don't want to do software engineering anymore. I love it. I love building software for myself and stuff like that. But I don't trust companies, and it's it's meant to be like a middle class paying job, and my pay and most people's pay have gone down over the past few years. Not only is there not raises, but because of inflation and everything, we've all gotten huge decreases in salary, which is ridiculous for how stressful and how much time you have to put into it. I love software though at the same time. But if I'm going to be doing all this, if I'm going to be like doing a stressful career, which I kind of avoided games in the beginning, but that's a very difficult thing. I'd rather at least be doing something that I own and enjoy. So with that, I will be releasing some more videos. You can expect some more videos over the next week. You can expect a Halloween special podcast that has a very extra special, hopefully, location to it. A little bit of sneak peek. 100% Gunner Slayer. Got to find something that works. And then also expect hopefully a website update within the next few weeks that will have points and stuff. So when you're on stream, I am going to have to make sure I can do this, but you'll be earning points streaming here or anywhere else. So it'll be good. Chris Lee, no problem, man. Always glad to have you guys here and asking questions. Thanks for everyone. I know this has been a little bit of a longer outro, but yes, thanks for showing up, for being here. I love chatting with you. Let's continue to do more of these. I love doing it. You guys have a good one. Have a happy Halloween. If I don't see you in stream before then, I should be streaming somewhere on Twitch before Halloween or on Halloween. So thank you guys. Peace out. Later.